Hi everybody, this video is going to present the handover procedure in GSM. What is actually a handover? In GSM, the geographical area is split into cells. The cells are hexagonally shaped. The purpose is frequency reusage and coverage. So each cell will have a BTS, base transceiver station. So the base transceiver station is responsible for receiving and sending signals to the mobile station within that particular cell. A mobile remains to get connected in the network only when it is able to send and receive signals from the BTS in that particular cell. So we say that a mobile station is in the network only when it is connected to the BTS in that particular cell. What happens when the mobile moves out of the cell? When it goes out of the cell, it loses its connection with the existing cell, that is with the existing BTS. In that case, the mobile is said to be not in the network. So what we should do to make it come inside the network? So that procedure is called as the handover procedure. So the handover procedure is a set of process to be done when a mobile moves out of range of a particular cell and it enters into a new cell. So when it enters into a new cell, it need to get connected to the new BTS in the cell which is entering into. This procedure is called as the handover procedure. Now let us come into the reasons for handover. As we have already seen, the first reason is when the mobile station moves out of range of a particular cell. How do we say that the mobile station has moved out of range of a particular cell? The signal level will become very low and the error rate will become high, and in that case the radio link between the BTS and the mobile station starts getting diminished. So in that case, mobile station will go out of coverage and a handover has to take place in that particular scenario. So this is the first reason. The second reason is that when a cell becomes highly loaded, that is the number of mobile stations in a particular station becomes very high and the BTS is not in a position to serve all the mobile stations in that particular cell. So in this case too, we have to go in for a handover wherein a mobile station has to be handed over to another BTS for the purpose of load balancing. So the two reasons for handover is, the first thing is when the mobile station moves out of coverage of that particular cell, and the second reason is the cell becomes overloaded. So these are the two reasons we have to execute a procedure called a handover procedure. Now let us come into the scenarios of handover. What are the different kinds of handover? There are actually 4 different types of handover. The first handover is called as the intra-cell handover. So this handover takes place within a cell, and this is done because of the narrow band interference. So the base station controller now decides to change the carrier frequency of that particular mobile station from one to another. So this is called as the intra-cell handover. The second one is called as the actual handover, the typical handover, which is the inter-cell and intra-BSC handover. Inter-cell means that the mobile station moves out from one cell to another cell, but it comes under the control of a single base station controller, but it changes its BTS from one to another, and this handover is performed by the base station controller. So what the base station controller actually does here, it releases the connection between the existing BTS to the mobile station and it establishes a connection to the new BTS to that particular mobile station in another cell. So this is done by the base station controller, and this is called as the intra-BSC handover. And the next one is the inter-BSC and intra-MSC handover. MSC stands for mobile switching center. So now the mobile is going to travel from one BSC to another BSC. So it goes out of control of one BSC and enters into the control of another BSC. In that case, the MSC will take care of the handover procedure. This is done because a base station controller can control only a limited number of cells. So, now the handover is going to take place between the cells of different BSC. So, in this case the MSC takes control of the handover. So, this is the third type of handover, and the fourth one is the inter MSC handover, wherein the handover is going to take place between two cells of two different MSCs, and in this case the handover procedure will be handled by both the MSCs together. So, these are the four different kinds of handover which is illustrated in this picture. So, you can see that the first handover takes place within a particular cell, hexagonally shaped cell, which comes under the control of a single BTS, and a second type takes place between two different cells, between two different BTS, but under the control of a single BSC, and the third type of handover takes place between two different cells which comes under the control of two different BSCs, and this handover is controlled by the MSC, the common MSC. And the fourth handover takes place between two different cells of two different MSCs, and both the MSCs take care of the handover procedure. And now let us come into the question of when does a handover actually take place. So, we say that when a mobile station loses its connection with the existing cell, we are performing a handover. How do we know that it has lost its connection with the existing BTS? So, the mobile station and BTS constantly measure the uplink and the downlink quality. What is quality here? The quality is the signal level and the error rate. The signal level between a mobile station and BTS and the error rate between the mobile station and the BTS is measured for every half a second by the mobile station, and the reports are sent to the BTS. So, these reports will tell you about the quality of the current link and the quality of the channels in the neighboring cells. So, when a decision is taken, so when the reports are constantly sent and the reports are constantly monitored, the error level and the signal level are constantly monitored. So, when the error level becomes too high with the old BTS and the signal level becomes too low in the old BTS, and the error level becomes low and the signal level becomes high in the new BTS, at a particular point the margin of the handover is fixed, and when the error rate and the signal level reaches that particular margin, a handover decision is actually taken. So, this is when a handover actually takes place. So, let us see a procedure of handover, how it actually takes place. So, this is an inter BSC handover where the handover takes place between two cells of different BSCs, and so the handover procedure is done by an MSC, the common MSC. So, let us see the first step. The measurement report is sent by the mobile station to the old BTS, that is the BTS from which the mobile station is moving away from. So, the measurement result is sent to the BSC to which the mobile station is connected to, the old BSC from which the mobile station is starting to move away from. And now the BSC will take the handover, the BSC will consult with the MSC and the MSC will take the handover decision. So, the BSC will report to an MSC saying that a handover is required, and now the MSC will send this request to the new BSC into which the mobile station is moving into. So, it will make a request to that particular BSC, and the BSC will allocate the proper resources, that is the particular cell into which the mobile can move into. The BTS in that particular cell will be assigned the activation signals, and then the channel will get activated by the BTS and an acknowledgement will be sent to the BSC, which in turn will send the acknowledgement to the common MSC. So, now the MSC will issue the handover command to the old BSC, and the BSC will transfer the same command to the BTS and then the BTS to the mobile station. Now the mobile station has got the order of changing its link from the existing BTS to a new BTS, which comes under the control of a new BSC. And now a link is established with a BTS of the new cell to the mobile station. Once the handover gets completed, an acknowledgement is received from the new BTS to the new BSC, which in turn is transferred to the MSC, and once a MSC comes to know that the handover procedure is over, it will give a clear command to the BSC old to release the frequency, carrier frequency, which is already occupied by the mobile station previously when it was available in that particular cell. So now that particular frequency could be made use of any other mobile station which comes into that cell. So this is how a handover procedure takes place. We could see that in real life it takes place in the fraction of a second, but actually this series of steps has to take place for a handover to come into existence. Thank you for watching the video.